Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This depends on where you're watching the video from. So this is my first video. I haven't done any YouTube video before, so it's probably gonna suck, so be cool with that. The reason I do this video is first because I would like to welcome you on my channel, because a lot of videos are coming. I still have to figure out what it's going to be about, but a lot of videos are coming about my life, about my stories, about my experiences, what I've learned recently with personal development, and yes, a few experiences that I had in my life that I will always remember. This first video, I am gonna introduce myself, and I'm gonna talk about the main parts of my life for you to understand who is this guy talking to you right now in these beautiful mountains. By the way, I'm in France right now. I'm living in the mountains of France. So yeah, first of all, so I'm Alvin. I'm 25 years old. I grew up in France. So I moved from city to the countryside when I was during college. I was okay before, but when I moved to the countryside, you know, I had to integrate myself with the new students, and you know, that was a new environment for me. So at this period, I didn't really feel like I wasn't feeling so comfortable. I wasn't integrated to my classmates. So it took me a while to feel comfortable being in a new environment, all the little new one, you know. I was, and especially I was small. I grew up very, very late. I was small, and I had a very high-toned voice like this. I was talking like this all the time. So my classmates were laughing about me all the time. I grew up very late, you know. And then I went to high school. It became better, you know, after a bit. At early age, I started at 18. I started to work, so that was pretty early, you know. As soon as I became adult at 18, I started to work, and I was working in a music store. Everything was fine. I had my car. I had my apartment. I had my furnitures. I bought more and more stuff increasingly. But at some point, you know, I felt comfortable for short term. But after a while, I started to feel like something, you know, I started to do not appreciate my job the way I used to in the beginning. Well, actually, I hated it. To be honest with you, I hated my job. I hated to go there. I couldn't talk to one of my colleagues, even my boss. I hated him, and when I woke up, I felt so bad, you know. Inside of me, I felt so bad waking up and going to work. That was probably 3 or 4 years after starting, so I was 21. Yeah, I was 21. The only thing I was looking for was freedom. Freedom to go anywhere where I want, freedom to just stop being stuck into one workplace, this life, you know. I didn't want this life anymore. I was not feeling good. I was full of fears. I was just, yeah, I had a few good times, short-term good times. I was partying a lot these times, but that was just short-term satisfaction. And then on the side, most of the time, maybe 70% of the time, I was just feeling not good, to make it simple. But so what I've done is I changed everything. I have sold my car, all my stuff, my furnitures. I came back to my parents, to my mom's, to save money, to start traveling. I was reading books like crazy about traveling, and I just wanted to go to travel. And in 2017, I had quit my job, and I started my first travel. Well, actually, I had quit my job, and then I got, just a few days before I wanted to start this journey, I got injured on my foot, on my right foot. I got injured, so I had the sticks, I couldn't walk. I just had to wait until I got better. It took me 1 or 2 months to get better, but actually at some point they told me you need to wait 2 months to get better. And I was like, I'm not gonna wait 2 months. I waited 3 weeks. 3 weeks, and then I left. It wasn't completely recovered, but yeah, I didn't care about it. I just packed all my stuff in my backpack, and the way I was traveling was actually not usual, you know. I was hitchhiking. I never knew where I was sleeping. You know, very adventurous place. I like to go to nature, like this kind of place like this. I love it. Every time I was traveling, I was climbing the mountains in the Balkan countries and stuff like that. Yeah, I love to do it. I love doing it. But so I started my travel. I was like, okay, this day I'm gonna start traveling right now. It wasn't completely recovered, my right foot, but I started. I knew it was early, but I started. It was fine, but sometimes I was still painful in the beginning. This travel, this journey in 2017, 2018 was amazing. It was really amazing. I went to so many countries. I had so much life experiences. I had some love stories on the way, and I'm gonna talk about it a little bit later in the video. Well, the way I was traveling, you know, I was very in an adventurous way, so I never knew where I wanted to sleep. So sometimes I knocked to the doors to be hosted by people, and I worked in farms, or I helped people, you know, like service exchange, you know, this kind of stuff. And that allowed me to travel for a very low budget, so I could do that for a longer period of time. And so I started from France, and my first step was to go to Greece. So I went to all of these countries between. So many crazy stuff happened, so many experiences, so many people I met through this travel. And in another video, I'm gonna go a little bit deeper on a few experiences that really stuck to my mind during this travel. And then in Greece, I was exhausted. I was exhausted in Greece, so I came back to France. The thing is, when I came back to France, I had so much experiences and so much things that happened in my life that completely changed me. First, changed myself and my personality, but also changed me. And when I was interacting with people I was used to interact with before, my family, my friends from my hometown, just people I was used to know before, that was just that was very difficult to communicate, you know. They probably expected me to be like before, and I wasn't, you know. So there was something. Maybe the first time we met was okay, but I was always talking about my experiences, and they kind of felt bored, you know, of me talking all the time, talking. So the ones who are watching this and who have been traveling, you perfectly know what I'm talking about. After that, I actually wanted to do more. I actually didn't want to stop in Greece. The reason why I stopped in Greece was because I was exhausted, and I couldn't do more. You know, I was really, really tired. So I just came back to France. But then after that, a month after, I said, I haven't finished my travel. So I took a flight back to Greece to keep traveling. And there's a tractor coming. Sorry for the background noise. Sorry guys, I had to stop because it was too noisy with the tractor. So now I'm back in the nature, as you can see, the trees, the mosquitoes. I've got bitten already. I hope it's gonna be fine. So I traveled back to Greece. I kept finishing my travel because that wasn't finished, you know. I felt like mosquito. I felt like yeah, it wasn't finished, you know. There was something. Ah, shit. All right, so it's gonna be a challenge. So I came back to Greece. I had a few, you know, love experiences on the way, and I arrived to Turkey. Turkey was a special country because this is where I met a lot of people there, a lot of amazing people. And if you guys are watching from there, from Bigadic, for example, big up for you. Oh my God, these mosquitoes are everywhere. It's crazy. I'm not gonna be able to finish the video. All right, so yeah, Turkey was a very special country, and I'm probably gonna make another video about it a little bit later, especially about a love story that happened to me. It was the crazy experience that happened to me. And in Turkey, I was working in a farm, and then I've decided to stay one day into a small town of Turkey, and it turned to be an absolute paradise. I knew everyone. I was a superstar there. The French guy who came by hitchhiking from France, the crazy guy probably, and was drinking a lot of tea there, a lot of chai. Was amazing. And then I left this town. Actually, well, I said I'm gonna stay for one day, and I stayed for 2 weeks. that was so good. And then I came back to the road, back on the road. The most special experience that happened to me. But I met this girl who is from China, and I met her in the south of Turkey. And I actually didn't really expect, you know, that I'm gonna meet someone or whatever. You know, I went to a backpacker hostel. Yeah, just this girl come and talk to me like, hey, do you want to travel with me? And I looked at her. I said, no, no, because, well, I was honest. Like, I prefer to travel alone. I preferred to travel alone because I feel free, you know. And I said, well, I didn't say no, but it took me a while to answer, you know, and say, okay, you know. And she was like, well, that was definitely a no. And so she told me, this is so weird because every time I've been asking to someone if he wants to travel with me, everyone said yes. And you were the only guy to say kind of no, you know? And I was like, it's not possible. How can someone resist me, you know? And so I said yes, you know. I said, let's see, maybe a couple of days and we'll see. Actually, it was a little bit more than this. And we fell in love with each other. We started traveling together. We fell in love. You know, it was a very, very intense time of my journey, and it was actually the last part. So that is the interesting thing. And then what happened is that after maybe 3 weeks of being together and, you know, traveling, going to romantic places of Turkey, enjoying our time, doing some, you know, just enjoying traveling and enjoying life, you know, as simple as it. I wanted to go back to France. Why? Because, I don't know, something was calling me in France. I had to go back there. I didn't really know why, but I said, right, I had what I was looking for, kinda. and I want to go back to France. So I took my phone and I scrolled and I went to book a ticket. So I started book a ticket, and then I go to the payment page. I put my bank details and everything. I put pay now to the flight from Turkey to France. Go back home. Okay, goodbye and everything. I put pay now, and the page doesn't load, and it doesn't work. It just doesn't work, and I'm so angry. I'm like, Jesus, I got so angry because when you book a flight, if you have to do it again, they put the prices up and stuff like this, and there's so much information to put, and I got so angry. I was like, no, this is not possible. I don't know why I was angry, and then she was with me, my Chinese girlfriend, and then she looked at me, and I said, you know what? What? She wanted to go to Egypt. She wanted to go to Egypt, and she said, you should go with me. And I was like, yeah, no. But I looked at her and I said, you know what? Maybe it was meant to be. So if it doesn't work, if the flight doesn't work, it means that we're going to Egypt together. Whoa! And that was one of the best moments of my life, because that was so spontaneous, that was spontaneous. I didn't really think about it, to be honest. That was so spontaneous. And actually, I was okay to go to Egypt. This time we really fell in love, and we were, in heaven. That was a very, very intense moment. And so we have been to Egypt together. And when we were there, we've had so many other experiences. I'm probably gonna talk about it in another video. But that was literally an amazing experience. Unfortunately, after a bit, I still came back to France, but after 2 months. So we spent quite a long time together, and then for traveling, And then I came back to France. We said goodbye. That was a very tough moment. We said goodbye to each other, and she came back soon after to China. I came back to France. We have never seen each other again, but well, we did our life on the side. That was a very good moment, to share, and we are happy that we lived it, But then we have to do something else now. So I came back to France after that, and I was like, that was very difficult to reconnect with my friends once again. I felt a little bit like being a stranger all the time. So I was like, well, if I don't feel like I can stay in France living, I'm gonna live in another country, in an English-speaking country, while in a country not too far. So, okay, let's go to United Kingdom, let's go to the UK. So I lived in London for a year actually. I worked there in a marketing company first. That was amazing, I went there in the morning, and they put the sound, the music everywhere. Everyone was dancing, and yeah, that was the kind of company I was working for. I learned personal development from this marketing company in London, and I literally fell in love with personal development. It's so amazing. It started to change my life from that point, once again. And because we had 1 hour, we went in the morning to the office, 1 hour, and the rest of the day was selling stuff outside. But I was only interested about this hour of personal development, to be honest. That was so interesting. And then after that, I did. So I was working in a cafe after that. So I was making coffees, 100 coffees a day at least, maybe more. I think more. A lot of coffees. and I met another girl, a Japanese girl this time. I know I like Asian girls, I don't know why. But I met this Japanese girl this time, and after a bit, we fell in love. After a bit, she came back to Japan, and we still wanted to keep contact, you know? We still wanted to keep contact and keep seeing each other. And so I was living in the UK, she came back to Japan, and we wanted to be together, but she couldn't go back to the UK, not easily. So we said, okay, let's go to Australia, so we can rejoin somewhere else in another country. So we both had a visa that allow both of us to go there, and I had quit my job in a cafe, and we went together to Australia. I came back to France for a bit to prepare my stuff and everything, and then we went to Australia together. In Australia, well, that was very special. You know, I was working in farms. It's very Australian style. You know, you buy the car, you sleep in your car, tent, camping, campfire, guitar. You know, surfing. Well, that was during COVID beginning, so we were not allowed to do everything, but that was also an amazing experience. You know, I always wanted to go to Australia. I always wanted to live in the UK. I always wanted to travel in such an adventurous way. I always wanted to live in the Alps mountains, thing that I'm doing right now. So everything I wanted to do, pretty much, I kind of have done everything I wanted to do when I look at what I wanted to do 5 years ago, you know. And then unfortunately, we broke up with this girl. I think that was on July last year. Yeah, we probably weren't meant to be together. We were kind of fighting, and we were good in the beginning, and at some point it wasn't, you know, it wasn't really healthy relationship. After this year in Australia, so that was during COVID, so I came back to France because I had something to do in France. I had something to do, and I wanted to do a music project. As soon as I came back to France, so empty airplanes, you know how it is, empty airplanes, maybe 10 people in the massive big airplane, no one. I came back to France. I started my music project, but as soon as I actually started, I stopped. I don't know why. It wasn't something really I wanted to do in that time, and I wasn't, you know, I also wasn't really feeling good in all areas of my life. You know, I was still in the 7 steps of grief because of my last relationship, COVID. And actually, this time, I actually had absolutely no clue what I wanted to do, to be honest. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was lost. I came back to my father's. I was lost. And then I started another project and didn't go through. And I went back to the UK, and there was lockdown, so I didn't find a job there. So I came back once again to France, and I said, okay, now I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna be independent. So I took my car, I packed all my stuff that I had in France in the car, and I went to live in the Alps mountains, thing that I wanted to do for a long time ago. I feel pretty good here. It's very beautiful. There are a lot of mountains around. I started personal development. This moment until now has literally, and I can't say it, has literally changed my life. I'm still in the process to discovering it, but now I've learned so much of you know, how to deal with emotions, how to deal with certain situations, how to keep your focus on what you want to do. You know, this is what I show in some videos right now with the cheerful chipmunk, you know. Well, actually, how to build up your life, and make it the life you want, you know. Because there's so many people that are just absolutely not doing what they dream about doing. I learned so many things. I had so much knowledge about personal development these last 2 years that I got from the best coaches of the world, you know. And now what I actually want to do is give it back. Give it back to the people, help the people that were in this situation when they felt stuck. When they felt stuck in their job around, you know, 20 years old, 21, this age. I can, I don't know, this is kind of a sound like there, up there. And these are my next projects, is really to give as many content as possible to you, and to share all my stories as well about travel. So I'm gonna talk about my travel. I'm gonna talk about the things that I've learned, the mistakes I made, how I dealt with certain situations. I'm gonna give all the knowledge I have. I want to put that out there, you know. I want to give it to you. This is a service that I'm doing to you. I give back all the things that I've learned that will, I'm sure, inspire a lot of people. Wow, this is really amazing that if you are still watching the video right now, I don't know, it's probably an hour. I don't have to watch anything. It's a very long time. So I really want to say thank you for listening until this. And I know there's a lot of stuff I combined. I absolutely didn't know how to tell my story and the main lines of it. But thank you for listening. If you liked, you can put a like right below. You know how it works. Subscribe, and I'm gonna put more videos. You can also follow me on Instagram. There is a link right below or somewhere, if I know how to do it, in the video, in the screen. And once again, thank you for watching, and see you next time.